right, welcome to another Deal Structure. It's Chris Pre, and I am with David Patton from lovely, sunny, balmy Michigan. How you doing, Dave?
Great. We've got 4 inches of sunshine right now. So
Yeah. You know what? I woke up at the crack of o'clock this morning, and it was doing nothing. But around 5, it started snowing, and we got about 4 too. So I'm in the same boat as you, unfortunately. Although I didn't
yeah,
mind it today. It was pretty good.
it's beautiful.
All right, so let's dive in, Dave. Last night, you and I were on a mastermind call with the associates. Everybody was psyched to have you on there. For you viewers watching this deal structure, I find myself saying this almost every week now that I like to give you a different one. Well, this is different for a few reasons. David's been in the community with me for a while. This deal started 3 years ago, and this deal had some serious pivots. And so we could get on here week after week after week and give you the boring couple $100,000 deal structures, no problems, all fluff. We could do that because we have those deals. But we like to give you what reality is in the field. And Dave's got some twists and turns on this one. So, Dave, let's go back to, I'm trying to think just logically. So around 3 years ago, we got this deal. What was the source of this one?
An expired
Yeah, I thought so.
listing. Yep.
And it was probably way back then. You and I were doing manual dialing. You probably just dialed it, right? Or was it a VA? Do you remember?
I think it was a slide broadcast, but I may have manually dialed.
Okay.
Could be either.
All right. So slide broadcast, for those of you that don't know, is where we can send out a bunch of direct voicemails. And obviously there's limitations to that now, but a lot of our associates are still doing that within the guidelines. There's guidelines to follow. All right. So we get that. We get under agreement. Let's talk about the seller. We're going to talk about the seller nuances in the deal structure over time, but let's talk about their situation just very basically. They were going to move, I think it was.
Yep. They were retiring. They sold their business. They were moving down to Florida. They had a home down there already. So they were trying to get their home sold in order to move. So,
okay, cool. And the beauty of this one is the type of deal is known in financing because it had no debt on it, right?
correct.
So just like last night, I don't know if you remember, but someone said to you, well, how'd you say it to him and how'd you get him to do owner financing? The fact is, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Dave, they wanted closure. They didn't need the money right away, right? This is pretty simple.
Correct. And when you get owner financing, a lot of times you can pay full price or closing costs or whatever the case may be when you're factoring in no interest or very low interest for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. So, okay. So let's dive into that. So we purchased this property for, I believe, no money down except for transfer tax, right?
Right.
No money down. What was the purchase price roughly?
$435.
$435. So it's not a small house, guys, price wise. And definitely, Dave, in your area, that's kind of up there, right? For something.
Yeah.
Okay. And we structured monthly principal only payments, no interest. How much?
$1,500.
Okay. Now, for the viewers to know, today, unlike other deal structures, I'm not going to sit here and whiteboard this, but David and I are going to talk generic numbers. I really wanted you to hear the story more so than the numbers, because you can hear our 3 paydays till you're blue in the face. But I wanted you to hear what happened here. So, Dave, you collected, talk about the process from how much you collected to then what happened over 3 or 4 months, if you could.
Sure. Got the house. I mean, this was one of my second deal actually, and looking back, I could have done better in negotiation. But it didn't take too long, 2 or 3 months. I got a lady in there, and she put down some money and then paid extra on a monthly basis. And so over the first 3 months, we got 28,000 down.
28 grand. And then what happened?
23,000.
23K. Okay, got it. 23K payday 1. Got it.
And life happened. There was a little tragedy. She had a massive heart attack and passed away. So we got the house back, put it back up for sale, and it took probably 2 months, maybe 3, to get someone else in there.
So let me just say a few things for the viewers, because I don't want to assume. I caught myself in so many videos just assuming everybody knows our vernacular and everything we do, right? So when Dave says he got it back, he purchased the home on a financing. He has title. When he says he got it back, unfortunately, tenant buyer, life event. Okay, now he has it back to remarket took you 3 months or so. That's about $4,500 out of pocket, but you had
Mhm.
23.
Correct.
So we put a new buyer in there. How long did he go? And then what happened to him?
Well, it wasn't long, and then COVID hit, and he lost his job, and he had a side job of painting, which is pretty lucrative, and that went bye-bye also. Everything, shut down for COVID.
Yeah.
So he put 18,000 down, and he couldn't do any of the additional down payments. But we had the 18, and he made his payment and covered the expenses, and actually the 1,500 principal going to the note holders at that time. So the principal was going down every month.
Yeah. Now, a couple things here. Last night I recall, so I'm just going to throw out what probably will be in the minds of the viewers because it came up last night on the mastermind call. And that is during COVID, how do you compare buyers? They asked us, Dave, if you remember, to say renters. And does it matter with the rent forgiveness? And to the gentleman who asked that, it was a good question. I said, and for viewers to know, David's buyer happened to truly get hit by COVID, right? We had one of those. It was an older woman's house and we had a cash route. We just sold it conventionally, like you're going to hear here in a second. But I say that to say, usually, like we have 50, 60 properties. During COVID, we had about 3 headaches because usually the buyers we put in the home are buyers waiting to get mortgage ready. And to Cammie Gauch's point last night in the mastermind, she's our head coach now. She said, well, look, I very specifically look at the background and what they do for work now during COVID to make sure they're an essential worker. Like she really gets picky. So she's putting someone in the home. They're a buyer. They don't behave like a renter. They don't try to skate and take advantage of any grants or anything crazy because it's out there. This gentleman truly got hurt. And he amicably worked with David and I to leave, right, Dave, over time?
Yep. He was in there. He would have been in through the end of December. And then we had 3 months until we had to have the note holders paid off. The end of the note came. But you gave me a great idea in the middle of summer. You said, hey, since this guy is struggling financially, why don't you let him, give him a way out early so he could go and spend less living somewhere else. And it's in the middle of summer, you can market the home and sell it. And I said, that was a great idea rather than winter time. So that worked out well. He found a place. It took him a couple of months because the market was crazy, but it worked out much better. So,
yeah, I won't say he's happy because he got hit, but he was happy as he could be given the situation.
right.
We turned around then and put it on with a realtor. How long did it take us to sell this?
About 3 months.
Okay.
About
And it
3
was
months.
an empty for a couple of those or
Yep.
all of them? Okay.
2.5 months.
All right. So let's call it 3. So empty 3 months in the beginning, empty 3 months at the end. That's about $9K. We collected so far $41K. All net said and done, closing costs and everything at the end, I think was high 50s, was it at the closing?
Yep, 57,000 at the closing.
57. So we're at about 98K, as I recall from last night when we did this. So all this to say, for the Wicked Smart viewers, two pivots. And because we had room, Dave, our term with the seller of the note being due for the balloon, was it June of 22? Do I have that right?
April 1st.
April 1st of 22. So
Yep.
just for context, David and I are filming this on January 7th, depending on when you guys see this. The dates he just gave you were December of 21, April of 22. We're cashed out. David received his check, I don't know, 2 weeks ago or so. So pretty cool stuff. Dave, other than nuances that we'll do in the overtime, anything else on the basic level? I think we nailed it, right?
Yeah, that's basically it. Is things will happen, things will come up, but they can work out actually better for you than the original deal you do. So,
yep. And just for everyone to know, I don't care if you're doing deals now or not, and you just kind of watch this for the first time or the 100th time or 140th. We got like 150 of these on this channel. Please understand that's what we're here for. You can go to seminars. You can go get all the fluff. You can get the marketing, the midnight marketing people. They're all going to tell you that this stuff doesn't happen. In fact, they don't even say it doesn't happen. They don't talk about it. So we on purpose talk about it so you guys understand there are pivots. Most importantly, not so you understand all the pivots and say, well, I got to do what Dave did. No, but you can pick up the phone and call us if you're in the Wicked
Mhm.
Smart community, and we can help you through it. It's that simple. So let's do this for the Wicked Smart viewers, Dave. Let's jump over to the deal structure overtime on this, and we'll talk about a couple of the nuances, makeup of the seller, makeup of the buyer a little bit more to understand, and then what we did in between if there was anything else we missed. Go to wickedsmartacademy.com, and we'll see you on the overtime.